This is true. At Scores Baltimore was home to the only, quadriplegic stripper who went by the name Lazy Susan.
I just figured that, pictured that bitch taking a spin, and I just
got this smile on her face, like
just gangling, just octopus
she
arms.
Made money. Dude. She made money.
No doubt she did. I want to go give her some right now.
That's what I'm saying.
Turn her around like a sundial. Just want to move her around so she doesn't get bed sores.
Down. Oh, I'm eating brunch with my people though. The homie Dyke just cooked up a feast and we bout to eat it, bro. Fucked around and has to mix the lobster with the poutine. Daddy is rolling blue dream. Them boys got down a routine. It's Naptown culture. Cooking 7 courses. Had to pass the torch and now I'm grabbing second portion. So sit back, relax, grab a drink and a smoke. It's Harder Brunch on the way and get prepared for the jokes. Whoa.
Hi, and welcome to the Harder Brunch Podcast. I'm your host, Dyke Michaels, and with me, not as always, my new co-host, Hanna Roeschlein. I was trying to remember your middle name so I could throw a middle initial in there.
Two.
I know. Wait, was it M? What is it?
Lee, L-E-E, first one.
Yeah.
Marbella, M-A-R-B-E-L-L-A.
That's the one I forgot. Marbella.
Marbella, that's my mom's maiden name. And in the Philippines, they'll sometimes give their kids their maiden names as middle or second middle names.
So your name is Hanna Lee Marbella Roeschlein?
Yeah, no doubt. It's a mouthful, dude.
Rolls right off the brain. And on the ones and twos, the wheels of steel, the sauce boss of Indianapolis, and the last broke dragon. Give it up for Zach Roan, everybody.
Hey there, Hardies.
And then a very,
I don't like
very
that.
special, I would say maybe the most long time returning champion we've had in studio. I think you were on like the 3rd ever episode of Harder Brunch. Comedian, actor, provocateur, nude model, Brad Rigler.
Oh yes, that's Rigler with 1 G.
Rigler, it's a soft G.
I don't understand what you're saying, but I'm sure it's funny culturally.
Welcome back to the program, Brad. You were here when we just had the cell phone in the middle of the table.
I do remember that. I thought you were making fun of me. I was like, you really, this isn't a show. Like, hey, you're on a podcast. Dude. It's like, no, you're just laughing at me. You guys are stoned in the living room calling me up. So like, yeah, except we're recording it. I'm like, oh, that sounds cool.
Yeah. And it was a very empty, it was a room where my roommate had just moved out.
Really?
And so it was just an empty
dude,
house.
it was. It looked like you just got a divorce, dude. It was ridiculous. And like, it's like we were just in the middle of a card table in the middle of this like nice living room, and there's like an ornate fireplace and nothing's there. I'm like, what's going on? It's like nothing.
One out of every 3 pods on the market right now comes out of a divorce.
It is, dude. There were a lot of folks there trying to fill in the gap.
There was a 3-month period where I looked like I lived in a Dexter house.
Yeah.
Like, it was just like a lot of plastic wrap and a lot of like. Imagine when I was getting like female guests over. They were walking in like, what the hell?
It wasn't much, but imagine. This is the part of the show where you use your imagination.
That was waffles and chicken and waffles.
Yeah, that was back when we had the waffle dojo. We had a whole, well, like I only had one breaker that could hold like the waffle load, like the.
I first of all don't say waffle load. I hate it. already you lost me at waffle dojo. I was like, the smell of cake batter gets me fucking fingered and fondled. Get me out of here, dude. Just kidding. I'd love it. I want a thick stack of rape pancakes.
So we just had a. Here we go.
Sorry, you knew the. Sorry, did you ask me to be your co-host?
No, you sure did.
Am I home with Big Jake and you lick my clit today? Is this not the energy of your demographic?
We no, I had basically a whole room that was just dedicated to a waffle iron.
Yes.
Like Brad was like, "What is this?"
Yeah, it's cool, man. All I know is we're drinking hard. Like, I understand what hard brunch meant. We were drinking hard at 11 o'clock.
How long ago was this? What year?
This was 2019.
I'd sobered. I was just wondering. I was like, okay.
And yeah, the funniest thing is I had a back-to-back. So you left, and then I had to do a whole new podcast.
Yeah.
And the guests that came in.
Yeah, I had to go halfway through. There was something happening in the afternoon I absolutely couldn't miss. It was something booked. I don't recall what it was.
Well, you did a full episode.
I did full, but like you guys kept rolling.
Yeah. And so we were drunk, and the new guest came in, and the new guest was not drunk.
Right.
And
and
they were not happy with it. Yeah, the chemistry was off. They were not happy with it. It was not we did not put our best foot forward.
I love that. That was a great show.
There was also, I think, the last episode with that person as a co-host. I think they quit after that.
Yeah, I don't remember ever seeing the person again. Maybe he's still alive.
But you were here. That was, again, 2019.
Yeah.
And at the time, you were promoting the Roast War Championship, which is amazing for people that don't know about it. It's it's one-on-one roasting, but it has all the
in a steel cage.
In a steel cage.
That's the thing, and that's the people say figuratively. Are you talking about like no? There's actually a steel cage. Yeah. It's on there, and it is. And you know what? It's necessary because you're allowed to throw. I sell popcorn that you can throw at the comics. So anytime it's only popcorn you're supposed to throw. But
if you're wondering why I've never done Brad's show, bare minimum, you're having popcorn thrown at you in a literal steel cage.
Now I've been trying to book Hanna.
This is true.
Forever and a day. Ever since I had this thing, and like it's just weird. It's honest to God, dude. It's like booking. It's like booking Marlon Brando to do a film. It's like maybe she'll be there, maybe she won't. Just have her lit, and I mean, be ready.
I told you I was more interested anymore to do it from a judge's point of view.
Yeah, you would be a good judge.
Yeah.
I would be a perfectly fine roaster also, but that is just something that like Dyke and I have talked over the years of comedy where maybe it's just me getting older or recognizing the fragile state of everyone's mental health.
Right.
You don't want popcorn thrown at you?
I'll come out of that cage and fucking skull fuck that dude. Like that's what makes me nervous. Like the thought of cold hard steel already gets my tits hard. Yeah. So I'm kind of like, I don't need to be in this kill box with some kind of like frat bro that I say just like the wildest things in the recesses of my heart, and then River kills himself. That is something that I could see happening. I've thought about it every second that you've asked me those questions, and I thought, do you want to end a Gen Z life? So I'd love to be a part of your program. I've come and supported it. You have to admit, I've been in attendance.
You support it. I've been in attendance. I think it's a great thing. I'm with you. I always saw it as like I come from too much of a promoter, and that's like a boxing promoter mistake, where all I see is a show, but you see the fight, and you're saying to yourself, "Boom! All I see is the dollars from this event," and you're saying, "No, but it's really a fight. We're really going to be hitting each other," and I'm not kidding, and that's why I'm saying like I gotta have that person in the ring because that's awesome.
I understand, and I have the appearance of a ring girl.
No, we'd have to have a serious So one of the things is like I always try to do it more from like a Tyson fight where it was going to be a first round knockout, but whatever, somebody's going to show up. That's kind of ballsy. And like, that's the way I put it. I figured like that. But what we really need to do is have a super battle. Now, I'm just going to throw a little thing around this. I know the guy has mentioned it. He brought it up, but he said that he wouldn't, but then he brought it up again. And so I know Patrick Murray said that he would that he had expressed some interest. Now, I don't think that we have to make the battle, or am I putting you on the spot at all? I'm just saying that I think we can agree if it were signed as a main event, it would sell some tickets.
Oh, me versus Patrick?
That would sell a few tickets.
Hanna versus Hagrid? The prodigal chink versus Stoner Samwise. Drake, yeah. Put him in a fucking Sorting Hat and a Grateful Dead t-shirt, and I'll come home and I'll unload a clip on every pencil dick on this scene that has ever made me feel some type of way. It'll actually just be pent-up aggression towards Avery and Helium. But Patrick will leave touched by an angel. I'll tell you that right now. I want Patrick to know. Patrick, if you hear the sound of my cunt voice, I'll be happy to come back home to do that for you. But only because honestly, like, he and I have never necessarily been like homies.
Right.
But I recognize what he does and always have to be comedy.
Yeah.
And that too. Dyke, that's completely fair.
No question.
But, this was never a matter of that at all. So I would be more inclined to do something, because some parts of the reasons I don't want to be involved in roasts also is because, especially like in Chicago, they have roast battles
of course,
at Lincoln Lodge, and I've been asked to do them But it's like, I also don't like roasting people I don't know.
Right.
Because even trying to dig stuff up on the internet, it's so stupid and it just ends up like weird.
Yeah.
I tend to like only want to roast people that I know personally.
Agreed. Well, you have some understand. You
Rapport,
got to know each other. Yeah.
Even if it's a sharp-edged rapport,
Of course.
as with some of them.
Yeah.
Still,
You want to have a knowledge. You got to have something familiar with it because that's what it is. It's not physical. So there's got to be over the course of 3 minutes. You got to know something about him. You got to feel comfortable.
Even for Patrick to want to
Right.
come into battle with me in the first place, I take like it. That's good.
That is
for me.
good.
It makes me smile
Yeah,
because
that's
I'm
what I'm
just like,
saying.
oh yeah. You have to recognize me as a worthy adversary.
Of course. Oh, I think that. Now, I think again, he was him and a Han, and this started. But he brought it up to me. I said, hey, listen, I'm offered an extraordinary amount of money, especially for what we're talking about and the amount of time we're talking about. And I'm dead serious because I think it sells tickets. I think he's a promoter. Are you kidding me? I think I sell tickets on that.
Yeah. Well, and that's the one thing
Just off that main event, I think I get over 100 tickets paid.
One of the things that I really like about the Roast
$20 a ticket.
Championship
Easily, Brad.
is
Easy.
that this is something that you take on the road. You go to other markets.
Yeah.
And you get their local comics
Right.
invested in it.
I actually sold the license, or I'm leasing the license to a guy, Chris Corrado, in North and South Carolina. So he runs Roast War Championship under the rules and the agreements of him being a sanctioned body of said organization.
Oh, that's cool.
That's awesome.
And so, he's doing it down there, and then we do one show a year down there for Roastamania. I bring the cage, and so I'm setting up. I do a great show in Louisville. So I have a great thing down there. The one place I really, honestly, I don't have a handle. It's just like we were talking about earlier. You want to get any respect, leave town. Mm-hmm. Because in my home city, Indiana, I don't really have a solid place that I can get. I know I could do it, but do I have a home where I'm like, okay, this is something I feel comfortable, like that same spot? I don't have that here. This is the only city we're active in that we don't have that. And so, I think that, if I'm going to do it, I'm not going to do it regular because people know it or they don't. I would like to do big battle, just like that, and run like a fight, like a pay-per-view.
Yeah, yeah.
And we do it. And part of the fun, because it's only 3 minutes each person, right? So part of the fun should be the build-up, the professional wrestling promotion, the build-up to get there. And so I think that'd be so. That answers your question. I was doing the Roast War Championship.
Yeah.
That's what I came on, and it's at Roast War Champ on any social media.
I love the theatrics of it.
Yeah.
I love the fact that it's so much of it's like it is roasting, but it's also like WWE. There's so much trash talking that goes, like you said, the build up and everything. It's amazing. Well, that was 4 years ago. Yeah. What did you come here to talk about today?
Sorry, I came here because Naptown Films has cast me, Brad Rigler, as one of the leads in this season's web series they put out, which is hashtag. It's better just to go to at Naptown Films at YouTube. This is the second one of the second season, and I'm one of the leads. I'm Chomp Champ.
Chomp Champ.
It actually, this is why I think it works for you, right? Because the guy he's obsessed with mukbang. Is that weird? Have you heard of the mukbang?
It's where they amp themselves up eating, right?
They amp, yeah, mukbang videos. They're like, dudes, I don't know.
What do you mean?
Zach knows about mukbang.
What are mukbang videos?
What are you talking? I don't know.
No, I think you just they eat a bunch of food, and it's kind of just like a vlog where they talk and stuff like that,
And
but
eat.
they're eating while they're doing it.
Yeah.
Some people take it kind of to the extreme. And, I've seen people do it with a bunch of
But
McDonald's or whatever.
Don't they turn the sound up so you can hear all is that
I think
something
that's
else?
ASMR.
Oh,
That's slightly
okay.
different. Yeah, I'm sure there's mukbang ASMR where you can listen to them chew.
So mukbang is just eating and talking?
yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
Okay.
So basically, this guy goes on, he's doing that thing, and it's about how he's being manipulated by his audience who doesn't care about him at all and begins to be radicalized.
Okay.
And just goes on this whole thing, and he's just obsessed with getting views and doing whatever the audience wants. And eventually, he ends up actually becoming really a cannibal.
Okay.
At the end, it's a progression. You get to see, as an actor, I like to take the audience on a journey.
Yeah.
Okay, and so I like to begin one place where I'm just some asshole, okay, which everyone who likes me can relate to.
Yeah.
And then you end up someplace completely different. In this case, it would be a cannibal who consumes the person by what we discussed one other episode, which is, I believe you phrased it as ethical cannibalism.
Oh, yeah, ethical. We've talked about that a lot on the show.
I honestly like that hero's journey for you from tracksuit to triumph. I think it's beautiful. I'm on a similar wonky trail.
That's going to be my autobiography's title. I'm stealing that.
Dude,
from
I'm an
Tracksuit to
English
Triumph.
major. I'll happily ghostwrite your batshit life. I know whatever you've told us, there's 58,000 things you're still got piled away. You don't know if you're allowed to tell people.
I wish that were true.
So what is the tone of this? Is this a comedy? Is this a horror movie, drama?
It's a so it's a comedy.
Dark comedy?
They have a theme. Now, Naptown Films is the two filmmakers. They're brother and sister, and one of them is deaf. And I don't mean like in 90s, that's awesome mean. I mean like literally, but she's actually a brilliant, she's a brilliant filmmaker. Her brother, Aaron, fantastic filmmaker. And like they come up with a theme and they have all these different random themes. I think they're really influenced by Portlandia and things like that. And so at the end, it begins the season with like about 4 storylines. And then by the end of the season, the run, it all runs together into one final thing where everything interacts, and it's really it's a very cool thing. But you also have a lot of different storylines that start. My storyline is all about that, the mukbang and being kind of radicalized and kind of going crazy. I'm Chomp Champ, and I bring my belt and I slap it. We're gonna get into it.
So it's like cannibalism Crash.
Yeah. Well, no, basically,
Yeah,
it is.
I'm high and just absorbing
It's true.
what you're saying out your mouth hole.
Yeah, like what the chick, the girl who's like the mukbang star of indie. She supposedly had, she basically got an eye for me. I don't know what she saw, but she saw a lot of it. And
Because you're the champ.
she got an eye fool. And so I go and I say, okay. And so she turns out she has a particular philia, which is where she likes the idea of being consumed. That gets her off. And so she does this whole thing where she's like in charge of it all. Because like, I really don't want to.
Yeah.
But it's very weird. So she's the one manipulating me to eat her.
Ah.
And so like we have this shit. Yeah.
So it's also a
It
love
didn't
story.
take that long to convince me.
So Naptown Films was this the thing that a bunch of comics were doing last year too?
Yeah,
And,
Tyson Cox.
Yeah,
Tyson Cox.
And Tenna and a bunch of
was in
people
it
were
as well. Tenna, of course, believes everything about me that is bad in the universe. She does. Tenna, like my buddy.
She thinks the tracksuits are creepy.
No, well, I don't know if everybody thinks that, but I could see.
I'm just asking only tennis specific.
Yeah, it was just Tenna. No, what's funny is I remember the late you remember somebody I must have caught up on some secondhand marijuana smoke. Nolan Miller.
God
Yeah.
bless, I knew you. I was wondering what ghosts you were about to conjure.
No,
R.I.P. Nolan, for real.
For real. Well, Nolan, what being funny as he told Tenna that I was that I
Rapist.
owned Brad's. I believe it was a Brad's strip club in town or something.
Yeah.
So he told Tenna that I was that Brad, and she believed it. And so like I think he did it as a joke to start, but then she believed it, and he was like, really, like wow, like maybe, and then he just kept on going because he's like, this is too good if you really believe. And she was 100% sure it was true.
I mean, I'm not sure it's not true.
My bank account would tell you it's not.
To be honest, that would have made me think you were cooler.
Yeah.
Whatever the 3-stripe Adidas boys that you're rocking at
That makes
Crackers
sense.
couldn't do for me. If you would have presented me with the ability to like leave a mic where I can't say the F word
Right.
and then go sit in Fiona's lap, I would.
Dude.
Brad,
I would have been upset
go
that
buy that
you
strip
never
club
offered to
right
bring me
now.
there. Like, come on,
I'm
man.
mad.
I thought we were cool. We can't get
know.
bottle service? That works?
That must have been it. Everybody thought that guy was a strip club. He never mentions it ever.
Yeah.
It's like whatever, dude. I'm like,
I don't want this to besmirch my comedy career.
yeah.
No, I didn't mention it because Ben's been dancing there the whole time. It's just to protect Ben, but get him through.
You gotta get some money.
To
man.
Hollywood.
Get money out there. Get it.
You seen him on FYI. Put your hands together. Sliding down the pole, Ben Polizzi.
You might know him from Espresso.
I was actually a strip club DJ for many years.
I believe that.
Hell
I
yeah.
was. Baltimore Scores.
Baltimore.
Scores Baltimore. we
With
call
a
it.
Z.
Scores. No, Z. It shouldn't be. It's like it's Scores New York. Remember, it was big time on Howard Stern back in the day. It was his favorite strip club, Scores. And so like then they bought like Scores, like franchise.
Sure.
And so this was Scores Baltimore.
So if Hanna was one of the dancers there, and you were the DJ calling her, how would you introduce her?
Oh, let's see here. No, I wouldn't do it, because like it's unfortunate she's in the position I wouldn't tell her. I would, because it would all be very offensive. First of all, I wouldn't use her real name. I would use something like Austin. I would call her something like Austin Cream Pie. Yeah, so,
I don't know why Austin cream pie is so much grosser than Boston cream pie. It just seems like it's hotter. It's been left out in the sun.
It is. It's been sitting in front of Mothership on 6th Street, right next to the cop horse shit.
No, I tell you what, she would be. You would rule the roost in the ladies' locker room.
I mean, I really was just trying to get you to do a strip club DJ voice
more
than evaluate his
isn't that what I've always been doing?
Stripper
bring
abilities.
me up as the Hoosier Heater or Trailer Man.
No, the Hoosier Heater is definitely it, dude. That's
sure.
bring it up, Hanna. The Hoosier Heater.
We'll come up to Last Dance with Mary Jane.
Yeah,
just something.
anything. Well, we have to get him with something real good. Probably kickstart my heart to get him on stage for about 45 seconds. Then take him down to a level you can maintain for 3 minutes.
Ball with the boss.
Yeah, boom. That's what we say.
Something spicy, dude.
Drop the house lights. Hit the
Yes.
strobe. Bang, bang, bang.
Crawling by living. It's all hybrid theory. It's going to go straight into the Jay-Z Linkin Park mashup. And then they're like, oh, that bitch actually is 40 years old. Based on the song she's come out to for the last year, her appearance seems 26, but everything screams a lot older than that.
I went into my first strip club 2 days. I think it was like 2 days after my 21st birthday. Mm-hmm. I went in on a Sunday afternoon day shift by myself to a strip club on the west side, and so I'm newly minted 21. And I remember I walked in, and there was a lady, and she definitely was a lady.
That's a good way to go.
She was a
good start.
She was a grown lady, and I walked in, and I just remember she leans down and she goes, "Hey, honey, do you want some 40-year-old titties in your face?" And I was like, I couldn't imagine something more disgusting.
Oh, my
At 21 years old, 40-year-old titties. No, ma'am, I do not want it.
Oh, my God. She just sold it wrong. The marketing, it was the packaging on that. I guarantee you.
If I was
titties
like,
in your face.
Hey, honey.
You're my mom's age.
Hey, honey, do you want some 40-year-old titties? And then you'd be like, where, little boy? I'm sorry they made you come over here from China.
Waiting in the car.
I think if you go to the firehouse.
Oh my God.
I like how you know that you're not Chinese, but you still misrepresent.
I was misrepresented by every race in this growing up in this state. Sorry, but these are hard.
Have you ever been? Because I'm ambiguous looking. Have you ever been mistaken for something that wasn't Asian?
I mean, if you just, for sure. I mean, but they're kind of those fringe areas like Pacific Island or.
Yeah.
They're, I've heard we were talking about all the different slurs I've been called, but even now starting to do some podcasts where they have large viewerships. People really take if they see me, if they've never seen me, they're going to make a comment. And the comments have been funny as far as the way people view me. Because I've got called things like Midwest Aquafina, Farm Moana.
Oh, man.
Farm.
Han Hill.
That's not bad.
Ron Swanson, Theo Vaughn's cousin, sister, wife, brother, lover.
Yeah.
Looks 22, sounds 62. These are just a few of the things that people have said that live rent free in my mind now. But yeah.
You want some 62-year-old titties?
You want to go there? Some miles on it, man.
I've been trying to think of a clean break place to put an ad for Tinker Coffee in.
Oh.
That's why I'm acting like this. Tinker Coffee.
Tinker Coffee.
It's pretty good. That's what we're serving
I'm
today.
gonna actually have another cup of Tinker coffee
I've
right
always
now.
loved Tinker.
I've had 3, and what the best part about it is it's got me awake,
Yeah.
but I'm not jittery.
Yeah.
It feels like that comes from the quality of the beans.
That may have been one of the best commercials
As
we
he
got.
holds as he holds a French press like a retard.
Well, there goes our Tinker.
There it goes.
All
Okay.
right.
You can edit that one of the editors more.
No
Cheers to
need. Tinker Conduit is my favorite of your blends. I used to drink a literal pot and a half of it opening garden table for 2 straight years.
It's so good. And I say it every week, but it just kind of ruins me for regular coffee.
Really?
Like when someone offers me a regular coffee, and it's like, oh, it's not as good as
Yeah,
it's never
no.
as good. They also do a subscription service, so
Really?
you can have Tinker delivered to your door. Use promo code BRUNCH, and they'll throw you a discount on it.
Dude, so all I got to do is go in there and I can get that stuff delivered to my house.
Yes.
Oh, good. Do I need to learn to run a French press, or is there some easier way
you can
that
just
a guy like me could make some
however
Tinker
you like
coffee?
to make coffee. I got to tell you, Brad, I think a French press is easier than most coffee machines.
Well, yes, but what would my friends say when I learned that? I would like my wife to sleep with me sometime.
Put it
again.
behind the false wall with all of the bodies, Brad.
Look, if you're
hide it
gonna
away.
pretend that you have a strip club empire, you're
Yeah,
gonna
I'm
need to
saying, I'm
start.
very bad on the strip club part. Yeah.
You're gonna need to start using a French press.
This is true. At Scores Baltimore was home to the only quadriplegic stripper who went by the name Lazy Susan.
I just figured that, pictured that bitch taking a spin, and I just
got this smile on her face, like,
just gangling, just octopus
She
arms,
made money,
dude.
dude. She made
no
money.
doubt she did. I want to go give her some right now.
That's what I'm
Just
saying. Look
turn
about,
her around like a sundial. Just want to move her around so she doesn't get bed sores, and just give her the $40 I'm gonna make tonight at Helium that I'm gonna lose in parking. It's perfect. It's a clown job. Where are you? I'm here for
that's
you.
what I mean. There's only one.
Is Lazy Susan still with us?
I don't know. I tell you what, she partied hard. She was a party girl, dude. Dude, she was serious. On the night, and it got weird. On the nights, she didn't get carried away. We'd find her the next morning, right where we left her.
On that note, we're gonna take a quick commercial
Tinker
break.
Coffee.
Wake you up.
You're in for a treat, Lazy Susan.
This week on the After Brunch Podcast.
Yeah, I was thinking about this the other day. I'm like, you're. Never mind.
No, you're good.
I'm
This
good.
is a
I'm
safe
safe.
space.
Yeah, we're all waiting.
I'm just thinking, like, when you like in the Special Olympics, like whoever wins is the asshole, right?
In what sense?
Join us at patreon.com/harderbrunch.
Welcome back to the Harder Brunch Podcast. We're here talking with comedian Brad Rigler in studio. We made. I feel like we gotta clear the air here.
Okay.
For the audience.
Go ahead.
You know this. You were very gracious because we were plotting to try to get a certain guest on.
Yes,
and
there was.
You played schedule limbo with us, which was
I really appreciate you bringing it. I didn't want anybody out here to think that like I was a first choice. That was my biggest concern.
I'm also just a guest co-host.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Dyke has had bare minimum 5 podcasts or projects since we've started comedy together, and I've never once been asked for realsies to participate on any level. I think that's more because of my apathy and the fact they know I don't want to be
Hold
like.
on. Both of you are liars right now. Literally, my first podcast was with you as a co-host.
Whatever, I was drunk still.
That's not my fault.
Okay, well, I don't. We're talking about before Christ.
Just
okay,
because
so
you don't remember it doesn't mean it didn't happen.
run back the tapes. Run back the tapes. That'll be a whole episode of me just going, oh my gosh.
And Brad, what I told Brad was, I said, hey, we're booked out to November.
Right.
But it seems like something
Yeah,
that
you got
want-
me on earlier. You said,
wanted
could you
to
do
come.
it?
You wanted to come on now and
Because
talk about the
Sunday
Naptown
tomorrow.
Films. Yes.
Tomorrow is a Sunday, and besides for that, it is also the premiere of my newest episode of Naptown Films #, which is featuring me. So they're releasing that tomorrow.
How many episodes are out now?
Well, I think they've got like 7, or I think they've got like, I think this is probably number 4 or 5. and I've been in 2, so I'll be in every other one or so.
Not all of them are Rigler focused.
And they're all, but when I'm on it, it's all about me.
Okay.
How long are the episodes?
It's about 7 minutes, between 3 and 7.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I was gonna look at you and say, like, like,
It's
with
great.
good for you, and I'm happy for you,
Right,
but
I
like
got
me
it.
actually consuming it, probs not.
No.
I got
Well, it
a
depends,
raging ADHD and other things.
No, that's what I'm saying. I don't think
But
anything's good over 10 minutes.
3 to 7, I can consume.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, exactly. You pop on, it's right there in front of you. You can watch it on your mobile device or any which way you want to. It's funny, and also there are some really talented filmmakers who are working here and cast people. And so if you're interested in ever getting into that, these folks are the Naptown Films. They'll, if you get with it, you want to do it, then maybe you could probably be on maybe not the level that I am, but I'm like, that's not a problem. If you just want to be in my orbit, you got to hold or if you just want to support somebody locally who's doing their best and working real hard. Naptown Films is awesome. Aaron and his sister, fantastic filmmakers. Nothing but respect to them both.
Now, so you do, I guess both of you do comedy, and you've both done act. Hannah's been in a movie that's like playing at Can and stuff.
Really?
I have an IMDb. I didn't even know, and I just like every now and then will Google myself like twice a year just to make sure a butthole's not popped up from a salacious OF subscriber that's upset because they're not getting their 9/11's worth a month.
Oh, damn.
But either way, God is good, and we'll see. But I check it out every now and then, and mostly it's just like podcasts and certain other things, But I've had certain things that I just like don't think about too much because I don't identify as an actor or actress. Like I want to do that more.
Right.
I want to write television, but I still have not yet. So, but I have done these things where I just like. I put them out of my mind and I go to the next dumb dick thing that I'm doing, but then I'm like Googling the other day and I'm like, oh, bitch, you've got an IMDb, but it's like one of those things where it's like, it's not a big deal, but it's just more like, oh shit, that's the thing though. Yeah. It's called, It Happened One Weekend. They shot it in black and white here completely in the city.
Okay.
But yeah, it's been at Can, the film festivals like
That's
the
awesome.
Hoosier Heartland or whatever. I got to see it for the very first time when it screened in a Brooklyn movie theater.
Wow. You were in Brooklyn, New York, and it just happened to be there, or?
Yeah, they arranged it. Some of the crew actually bases in New York now, and one of them named Taylor, who was like my head of video on that particular movie, I became friends with like he and his wife, and they're like a like group of people I stay with when I go to New York, and they let me crash there, and like the movie poster I'm on is in their basement.
Really?
And their kids are like playing around it, and I'm like, oh, it's my idiot face.
That's awesome.
So it's just, but those kinds of like little relationships. But yeah, it screened in New York, and I happened to be doing dates at the Stand, and it just got to like see it on a big screen there, and it just kind of just showed me how like little tiny everything is, even though I'm aware of that, but still it's one of those like very insular moments where you're like, oh,
so wait a minute, hold on, you walk me through. Everybody else got smaller because you were in a movie?
Hannah plays in this film. Hannah plays a sweet girlfriend, which is really acting.
No, that is serious. You do not.
I mean, I was.
Oh,
I got broken up with. I wasn't in it very long. It was just a little part,
Yeah.
My name was Abby. To be honest, like I had no idea how to prepare for being in a movie, so I did what you shouldn't do, which is not read through it. I just treated it like I do my comedy, and I'm like, I've been kind of like winging that shit, and I turned it into a 7-year professional sort of thing.
Like, these aren't the lines.
Well, the nice thing is when I got in there, they did let us know that we had like the ability to improv a little bit.
Like good
To get loose. Yeah, because I was reading it at you and Thad's house, the old one over there in Irving, the other part of Irvington.
Yeah.
And I just like started reading because I thought I had a bit part. And I did, but it was still like 25, 30 lines, which is not
bad.
So I was just...
Hey, you can't park there.
I started reading it. I started reading it. I know. But I pulled it together.
Like this, yeah.
I pulled it together.
So why can't I hail a taxi in this town? And you're wrapped.
Is that you played a black guy?
That's acting.
Insane.
Theater.
So Brad, I guess I'm asking you, as someone that dabbles in acting and stand-up comedy.
Yeah. I
I
don't dabble.
You don't dabble, but
full complete
do you
strokes.
do you enjoy both like equally? Is there, because like I feel like with acting there's so much hurry up and wait.
Right.
There's a lot of waiting around.
Well,
There's
comedy
a lot
for me is like, I like the fact that this is the one thing. It's like with comedians is like, it's you. Like I'm in control of it.
Yeah.
I can perform when I want to. I haven't got to wait to be cast or see if I have a chemistry with this person. Blah blah blah. The right story's got to come on. The actor is pretty much the last person who has any control over any of that. You don't usually control who you're with. You don't control the story, other than or where it's going or how it's cut or any of that sort of stuff. But when you go and up on stage, outside of a few outside influences as a comedian, you're in complete control. It's your show.
I love that you say that, because to be honest, in these kinds of like next chapters of my life, I'm more inclined, I've found, to want to act a little bit, because like I've spent my whole life crafting what's become this like living, walking character, human brand coming into myself, and because of that, I'm running everything in my program still and not having money yet. It's like I'm like frazzled a lot and I'm decision fatigued. And I don't always want to be the main character energy. Right. So acting has become something on my mind in the slow burn where I'm like, oh, I would love for these next, XYZ years coming to be able to get involved in those kinds of projects. Cause like I have this more desire to have like a submissive point of view as opposed to just like being the way I have as kind of this dom,
a collaborative,
a dom energy.
It's
but
a collaboration.
Of course, just being able to come in and be told what to do, not have to be like, oh, because even when I'm doing comedy, it's like we're booking lineups, we're doing all this kinds of stuff. I rarely can just go in, plug in, say the lines, and walk away. Even tonight, hosting for Jay, I have to run every part of that Nitro Circus.
Right.
There's no, so to just be able to come in like I did with that and be Abby for a second, and have them put mics on me and move me the way I wanted to be. I found that I was like, oh my God, this is so refreshing.
Right.
I don't have to spearhead my own projects.
Yeah.
I can, you wrote this already?
Yeah, exactly. So if you don't like what was written, it's not on me. It's like,
I
didn't write that. I never talked to that.
I didn't write this garbage.
I never even thought about that. I just got to get to work.
Russell Brand's like, I'm just playing a rapist misogynist.
He's like this.
And then later on, we're like, yeah, okay. The same with Dalia, buddy. We saw Workaholics.
Hey, I forgot, you have to wear these when Thad's not here.
Oh, my God.
Oh, that's fine. Does he wear it the whole time?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. We've been missing that, huh?
So, well.
Yeah, but I like it. I tell you what, I always thought, like filmmaking is also another whole thing. I like working with filmmakers who have they want something to say. Like the best is I knew what these guys wanted to say last season, and I got the message that they were getting through when I read the script. I was like, okay, I get what they're going with this. I know what they wanted from me, and so I was like, okay, cool. I read it. I knew what they wanted to see, and so I gave them what I know they're happy with what I did because I knew what they wanted, and I was willing to give them all of that.
Yeah,
and have fun with it. And go a little bit funky, like especially them. Because they let you get improv and go off and do your own thing and be like, okay, I have an idea. Like I brought in I of course wear the tracksuits, and of course I wear I bring the championship belt, and I have a driving glove on, and I'm like, I'm Chomp Champ. Let's get into it. And I go, I'm Chomp Champ. That's my whole thing. And so eventually I start. Every time I introduce myself, I'm always like, hey, hi, I'm Chomp Champ. And every bit of time it's awesome. But like I'm obsessed. I need people to watch me, right?
Yeah.
And so like these people who are the most vocal, these very toxic forces online are basically coming in trying to like make me raise what I do to get views, and I get addicted to it, and then it allows me to be corrupted and taken down a very dark path, which of course is consuming another human being, ethical, approved or not.
Well, I'm very excited. I want to check out these episodes. What's the first episode you're on?
I would say I think it's episode 3. Episode 3, and you can't miss it. I'm on there. But tomorrow, Sunday, I'll be back out, and it'll be back out on there. And then of course we'll go on for another couple weeks. But I love it. And I also love the fact that anytime like we got the best I'm on the best podcast in Indy. All right.
When do you go on that one?
I know. I was like, "Who's got the best podcast?"
Everybody looked at me. There was no
going on Crime Junkies.
Like, are you promoting somebody else's show?
I was like, "Rigler, you're doing McAfee. Awesome.
That's awesome.
Ask him if I can come make picks like Shane Gillis. Who do I have to know? His wife? I do.
That's awesome.
I know, but I'm like laughing. I'm not.
That studio is here in Indianapolis.
Yeah, right. I believe it is. I mean, I'm pretty sure because they base out of here. You know what I mean? And they got a daughter now, so I think Pat's a little more like still traveling everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, you can jet around in a day. It's not hard. But at the same time, I'm pretty sure they're doing that out of here.
That's awesome.
Which is great.
And I'm on the best web series. So like I said, boom.
Yeah, that's perfect.
And so I just got to get back on there. And so I just want to do that. I just love being around. And also, I like working with people. I like getting in this. I love this podcast. I love being able to interact with, the people I respect and who I want to interact with and have a great time and feel that chemistry. And they want to create something. And that feels good. At a certain time, you just want to be a part of that. And I love the fact that they have a vision and I can help bring it to life.
How long's the wait in between when you record it and when
a long time.
Is it?
I thought that they were giving me shit. I thought I was cut out of it because they said they're working on special effects. I'm like, shut up, dude. Don't tell me you're working. That's
You're like, that's an app, or getting on your phone mic and going.
Just say you're not putting it out, dude. Yeah, exactly.
Like, what do you need from me? That is my sizzle reel.
That's why you hired me. I can make the noise. It's kind of defeating the purpose. Your money.
Feed me.
You guys want to hear something interesting?
It better be.
Apparently.
You put me in sunglasses. I keep forgetting where I am. I'm just looking.
They fit your face.
So
You're pretty for a retard.
So, Jesus, right. Every time I'm trying to talk about a sponsor.
Here we go.
Brought to you by Patio Cat, which is how I behave. Person, where they put little bits of PBR in the feeding bowl. And they're like, this is Whiskers. He's a Vietnam. If I ever relapse, I'll relapse on your beer.
That's good.
The subway that
This is the problem.
the subway that Jared
Like
went to at Bloomington. Right before I get to do the theater, but never do again. Good, can't wait.
So the show. that was a lot to unpack.
Patio Cat.
That'd be good. Patio Cat. Sorry for your last relapse.
No, seriously.
Yeah.
Anytime people
Awesome
want
title.
to try to sponsor me from here on, I'm going to show this part of the pod as my my sizzle reel.
Yeah, this is what I bring to the table.
And I want you to know this is all I bring to the table.
Boom.
An incomplete improv riff style on your...
Dude, let me tell you about how embarrassed I am. What I wanted to do, like sports casting and things like that. And so I got a local boxing promoter to allow me to come in and shoot my reel inside his thing, his boxing match. It was pretty cool, and all the different players were there from like the Baltimore Ravens. And there was this guy, Chris Redman, who was a backup quarterback, and I interviewed him like, that guy's the backup quarterback for the Ravens. And I had to ask him his name 3 times. I kept forgetting. Mm-hmm. Oh my God! But I thought that was so funny. I insisted it be put on my audition reel. Oh. And I mean, like, that's just as dumb. I mean, like, I get it. Like, it's just really it's like every time I hear about that, I think about like, ha 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 ha. They'll think this is hilarious. They're like, dude, no, this is the audition reel. I'm like, hey, remember that time I couldn't remember the guy's name 3 times in like 2 minutes?
Brad, I know you're not trying to be inspirational, but you for sure lit a fire in me that's already been on. Just like that Eternal Soldier tomb. I've already had an autistic candle burning in my spirit man that says, not today, Satan. We're going to do this the hard way every time. So I will be building one of those reverse highlight reels.
That's right. Beautiful, right?
I'm getting management. They asked me for content. Here it is. I mean, here's what I just did, Curtis. Take me out onto the road.
They're never going to ask
Shove
you
me
ever
to
again.
the Funny Bone in Albany and Rochester and let them know.
It's my turn. It's my turn at the trough.
Find me a local beer sponsor.
Is there something like, is there like the opposite, like a de-influencer?
That's
like
what I'm saying. Like, that's the way to go. Listen to me. It is that kind of, like they do.
You pay me this much.
Deconstruct.
You pay me this much to not talk about your product.
Exactly. And think about it, dude. That's what I mean, right? Nobody knows who you are. Get me?
So one of the cool things that I was trying to get to was that the TV show Parks and Rec.
Yes.
So we're sponsored by Upland Beer.
Right on.
And drinking a delicious.
Actually, it is. I actually
now.
have enjoyed my Upland Beer since I've been here.
Let's do a cheers.
Thanks. Thanks, Relapsy.
Yeah, great.
Thanks, Patio Cat. I feel like she's definitely been a patio cat at some point. Like,
Oh, no doubt. Probably in the Egyptian days.
somebody's chased
Nice.
you off their patio. At fucking 3
Cleopatra was like
a.m.
stroking my head, and that's
Right.
why I have an attitude problem now.
Like,
Just hissing at men like, bitches, I don't need this.
like, you know the fuck
I'm
I
royalty.
am.
Don't touch me, clowns. Just
But the
patio cat.
the TV
That's
show
fucking true.
Parks and Rec. You're familiar with the TV show Parks and Rec? Took place in Pawnee, Indiana. So the people making the show, they wanted to get like an Indiana beer.
Right.
So if you look at any scene where they're drinking beer in Parks and Rec, they are drinking Upland.
Really?
Yeah. So I feel like Harder Brunch technically
Is
part of the
Back to bacon.
I feel like we're part of the Parks and Rec
That's
cinematic
right.
universe.
You go back in there. We're in the orbit.
We're in the orbit.
We're in the orbit. People, you watch Parks and Rec, right? Boom. There you go.
And then the other thing I want to do is the Smoking Goose brunch breakdown.
Oh.
Smoking Goose is another one of our sponsors. They do fine meats and charcuterie located at 407 Dorman Street.
Charcuterie. I like that.
And they sponsor our brunch breakdown, which today we're talking about the city of brotherly love.
Yes,
Philadelphia.
Philadelphia.
Now, everyone knows that Brad Rigler is a huge fan of Philadelphia.
Yeah, he's been talking about his time as an extra on The Wire growing up
It's a bummer.
outside of Baltimore. But, you know.
man. Philadelphia, city of brotherly love. That's a serious town. That's a serious town. A lot of history there.
Lot of
history. Big culture, big influence. Goes out
bell.
whether you like it or not. It's coming.
They got a bell.
They got a big bell.
They got
It's cracked.
they got a bell with some crack in
It's
it.
not perfect. It's not yet been perfected. Which is analogous to our American experience. Don't we all agree?
So of course, I mean, you've never lived in Philadelphia.
No, but I
right?
have spent time there
You have?
before.
You've
Yes,
been there.
I was there during. One of the most influential times I spent in our fair city of brotherly love was during Occupy Wall Street. Now,
Okay.
Of course, there's no Wall Street there. I mean, that's
Yeah.
what's weird, but it happened other places.
You were hosing off
Yes.
hippies. Is that what you
Yeah,
did?
exactly. You throw rocks at the kid. Everybody has a good time. Just go out there, laugh, goof, whatever. Just be kids.
It's roughing up. It's tipping over their altars and smashing their patchouli sticks. Tearing all their fucking.
I like the idea. I like the idea of Brad Rigler at every historical event, but on the wrong side. of it.
I mean,
He was like, "I marched in Selma. I was selling that."
Technically, I was there. Yes, I was there.
sorry, talking about past lives, Rigler easily could have killed Kennedy. Brad's got the spirit of someone in the dormitory or the top of the knoll.
You want to know something? You want to see something scary? Do you have your phone or anything like this? Go take a look at. This is true. Look at suspect number 2 for the Oklahoma City bombing.
Oh, bless.
Oh yeah.
That
Why?
picture, because it's only a photograph. It's not a photograph. It's only a pencil drawing, but it looks. I mean, some would say identical to yours truly.
Well,
Like it looks just like me. Like
I
honestly,
love
God,
that.
you know,
Oh, I
we
love
don't have
that.
those abilities. We're kind of back to a phone in the middle of the table situation here on Harder. We've come full circle.
yeah, exactly.
But I will look that up.
But please look up. If you're gonna look up something, look up.
Oh wait, here we go. There we go.
Is that not me? I'm sorry, but
It could be.
That I mean,
people
people see it. So I say, but obviously, go. Go
You should
see.
put that as your headshot.
I
Y'all
did. I
ready
used
for-
that on Facebook for a while.
Y'all ready for a mukbang?
Yeah, mukbang. No, but let's see indie films first. I mean, this is probably if you're going to look up something, don't look up the terrorists.
So our
Too late.
If you remember one thing, let it be something
Too
positive.
late.
Like, no, this guy could be suspect number 2.
first he's owning strip clubs, and then he's
No, he's like, do you know what this
blowing
guy's
up
up
federal
to?
buildings.
The worst thing is, it would be better if I was actually up to something. I like it. I kind of like being this because I just like, okay, well, at least
To
it
be
sounds
honest,
like I'm
what a
interesting.
discography, though. A gentleman's club and an
Still found
assassin.
time.
Yeah.
Please,
Still
dude.
found the time.
Terrorist and
So the very first thing that I made was just a pretzel, which I've never made pretzel before, so I was very excited. That was my first foray into making pretzels.
5 of 5 on pretzel shape, 5 of 5 on pretzel taste, I think there could have only just been a better time for me to consume the pretzel when it was a little bit hotter. And, you know, potentially even I was picturing it at some point, and I was like, if he could achieve this with the consistency of a croissant, like a pretzel croissant, this would be the most flame-o fucking breakfast thing. But overall, good job, Dyke, for harder breast.
Yes, making those breasts.
Harder breasts. Moment in brunch.
Well, now she's doing ads for us.
That was my hard nipple moment when I thought I like this enough to eat it because I'm high, but it would really be elevated if it could turn into a different thing.
Minute 47, 23
but
seconds.
It has the potential to, because I know Dyke has the tools and the skill set, and that's only why I'm bringing it up.
I'm pretty particular about pretzels. I love a big soft pretzel, but it has to be like fresh out of, you know what I'm saying? Like there's a very small window where a pretzel's perfect, and then it's just like
it gets hard as a rock in 90
terrible.
seconds, dude.
Come on, what are we talking about?
Not you, Brad. I thought I almost said something heinous, and I was like, I just looked at the Tinker Coffee. No, come back to the light. It's not that kind of podcast.
Is it?
It is.
Oh, man,
it is. But
okay,
it's no, we're good. But that's hilarious. I've had a lot of laughs already.
No, that's what I'm saying. But like, so what I think we leave out when we discuss said pretzel, would be actually the beer cheese that it went there, because I feel like the cheese really is in how it interacts with the pretzel, right? Yeah. Because it's a pretzel. It was it had its shape and it was fine, right? But I think what set it off is something I remember. Was the beer cheese? Am I right?
It was good.
Yeah, all the things that weren't the pretzel.
Yeah, I know.
The best part of the pretzel.
You know, like the wine that was on the table, like the ambiance, the silverware was great.
The first thing I brought you, did you like the rolls? How the rolls? Like, oh God, it's gonna be a long conversation. It's like, the rolls are great. I mean,
Janet has the special, the aioli killer.
No, but you know what I mean.
I hear you. It's good.
It's what I'm saying. I do think that you can't talk about the pretzels without talking about the beer cheese.
The dipper is for sure pertinent.
And it's delicious. I'm saying it's all good. It's really good. That's what I remember.
And you cinnamon sugar dusted it and turned that into a chocolate dipper, you can make a churro-like pretzel.
Right.
And if you can achieve those croissant-like layers like I encourage you to do for my own benefit.
You really just want this.
I know what this is.
Nobody's pointing out the fact that what she just said was basically make something else.
Imagine
it wasn't a pretzel and it wasn't cheese. That'd be good.
For the condiments to seep in. I know what I'm talking about.
We should do it like this. Bacon.
Yeah. Just like let your guests get really high and then just tell you what they rather would have eaten.
No, it was good.
First of all, I said 5 of 5 two times.
Yes.
I don't 5 of 5 anything. Dude. I wouldn't 5 of 5 my parents. Dude. Okay, so like take what I'm giving you.
No, I mean, look, most nights I'd say I eat probably, the closest I get to going out to the quality meal would be this Chipotle. Honest to God, like that's as good as my high watermark. So
you don't know where to find eggnog.
I'm very deep. I'm very deep in it. I think you did a great job. I love it all. I'm just trying to give you the sort of feedback as opposed to it was great, Dyke.
And that's how you say the name of that restaurant every time.
Yeah.
That's
I kept on searching my head for what am I going? I'm going to call it Chick-fil-A or whatever, but no, it was like something like with a Q. It was like no, it's Chipotle.
And then the second one we had, and this one I wasn't too sure about because this was a Philly breakfast treat,
right?
That consisted of pepperoni,
yes,
scrambled eggs on a hoagie roll,
Cheese.
and then I repurposed the beer cheese.
Yes, Hanna, what did you believe?
5 of 5 on sustainability for not wasting the beer cheese. 4 or 5 on presentation for what it was, because classing that up, that doesn't make me if you present that too fancy and that's what's inside of a croissant per se.
Yeah, it's messy.
And it doesn't, flavor was there.
I mean, it's scrambled eggs. It's scrambled eggs and pepperoni.
I know that's why I'm talking about it like this. I'm not going to talk about a bagel bite with finesse.
Yeah,
but I liked it.
Yeah, what I liked about it most was, you see this. This is basically, I was eating what was in the photograph they sell me on these normally. Right. So I was tasting the ideal one. So like the bread wasn't, normally the bread is 50%, if not more, of the whole sandwich when you actually get it.
Yeah.
In this case, it was like 20% on the side. That really was, you were getting that full packed in there. It was really good. I thought the eggs were runny enough that they still were fun, but they weren't, but not so much though that it just spills out all over the place.
They were.
You know what I mean?
It was a nice soft scramble.
Exactly.
It was a nice soft scramble. I'll give you that.
Right.
If
The
you want to
scramble's
talk technique, I'll talk technique. I just didn't want to talk technique.
Right.
How about a breakfast sandwich?
Right.
I wanted more toast on the bread. That's to be honest. I'll tell you right now. No, I ate 4/5 of that sandwich, and I don't touch shit I don't want. I'll just eat a good bite of something expensive and be like, I don't want that.
Right.
So for me to have even done that shows how high I was, and how much the flavors were on. So like what I'm saying, it has to be
Right.
So it's good.
Hold on, Zach, you had something you were trying to...
I don't need to. This is fine. I mean, the one thing I do want to say was my bun was definitely burnt, so there was enough
so you
toast
had
on
the,
it.
you had the one I needed.
I got all the toast for the table.
Okay.
Then we did the classic Philly.
Yes.
I don't know.
Everybody got onions on that, did they not?
Yeah.
Right.
I didn't know. I feel like there's always someone that's like, I don't want to.
It's
But
me.
that totally ruins it,
It's
right?
me because I ate 4/5 of the sandwich before. My body is small, and it said we reject any more of that kind of a bun.
Yeah.
So I took all the meat off, and then I scraped the onions off of it because I'm not enlightened yet, and
Yes.
so I like the flavor of those onions, but I'd prefer not to eat them. So on that particular one, it would have a lower rating for me because I just basically ketoed it and scraped all the living parts away to eat 3 strips of carnitas.
That's it.
But I want you to know that I know that if I'd eaten that sandwich and I like that kind of sandwich in real life, I would have enjoyed it.
If I liked it, I
So
would.
I
promise you that.
So once again,
I would like
not
it if I
completely
did.
for me, but I want you to know that I know there's people that is for.
Yeah.
Just like patio cat.
And then,
I was telling you, I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. I thought it was fantastic. I gotta tell you, this is one thing you touched on something earlier though that really kind of drove it home with me and kind of ties it in the beginning, and that is because it was a heavy meal with 2 of these major, like you had 1-2 punch right there in the middle of serious not only taste but portion. And so like by starting off with such a heavy bread that is the pretzel, because that is a big heavy bread, it's like, you know, that feels like I could have used a little bit more room in my tummy.
Bread.
Yeah, bread. And so like that's the one thing is I think it was all good, but when if I didn't speak glowingly about the pretzels, because by the 3rd course I was resenting the pretzel. I was angry.
that pretzel keeps growing
That's what I was
inside of
thinking.
you.
I was like,
for some time.
it's taking up space that it shouldn't be taking up, Dyke.
I think these are issues you need to take up with the city of Philadelphia. And then the dessert was a local treat, a local box treat called a Tasty Cake, which is like a butterscotch topped cake.
Yes.
And so I got mocked because I said I would try to elevate it. Zach, I was like, I tried to elevate this tasty cake by putting it on butterscotch foam.
That was good though.
And then brought it out because I didn't do it like.
First of all, he didn't get mocked. I looked at Duncan with side eye.
Why?
Which is for me the only, just because he said the thing about the foam and he sounded like a douche. You're presenting me stuff from a city where It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia was shot. Talking about patio cats. That's that whole town. It's just a bunch of feral humans screaming about the Eagles.
Yes, that's true.
With some cultural museums that are quite beautiful and, American history, but it doesn't change the populace nonetheless.
But how was it? Was that the first time you had a tasty cake?
For sure it was. And
That's the first time you've had. Wow.
And I love butterscotch in general.
Yes, me too. Butterscotch is underused.
Oh my God.
I've never
good.
had one. I had these specially delivered from Amazon.
Are you kidding?
Oh, I wondered. I
They're
thought you
called
made them,
crimples.
and I was like, this is really, really good. I would want one of these all the time.
What about the crimple? They're called a crimple?
A crimple, yeah.
A crimple. I know what they're called. They were my favorite, dude. I love
So
those.
they were already made, or you got a mix to do a crimple here?
No.
they were-
I opened a bag and I put it on the
They
thing.
have 2. They come 2
But
at a time. 2 a pair
you
of 2.
made the foam.
I made the foam. No.
Oh, so you,
Yeah.
okay, so
Yeah.
you, I mean, frankly, though, now knowing that
What
comes
should I
from
compliment?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I gave you a gas station treat, and so I was
you
trying
can
to
go
like
buy it.
I was trying to make it like a little, more hard.
Yeah, you can go right down and buy it at the gas station. But then there's.
I don't think
Dyke.
they have them here though. They don't.
I haven't seen
I
them.
mean, you get them here.
No,
Locally?
it's been a while since I was excited
never-
about seeing
I've
a
never
Crimple.
seen one.
This is the first time I've been excited to see one in quite some time. But there was a time I was also as excited as I was today. It was just quite some time ago.
I'm going to ask Jay tonight where I can get the best tasty cake when I do come to
I got an
Philly.
extra box.
Jay who?
I'm sending a
Jay
box
who?
for you to give to Jay.
Jay
I'm
who?
opening all weekend for Big J Okerson.
Oh, okay. Maybe we should have mentioned that at some
No
point in
need.
time.
There's no need. I haven't got any goddamn respect in this town since I was here and left. No one needs to know that I'm doing things that matter.
Right.
It's handled. God's got it. Jay's got his own fan base.
Oh,
I didn't
he's
even
gonna be able
know.
to sell a few tickets. You think?
I mean, he has been. But
I mean, by the time this
I
comes out, like she'll be gone.
Okay,
Everyone
yeah,
will be
yeah,
gone.
I've had
missed the
homies
show.
and stalkers in the audience of
You missed
every
the show.
one of them. It's all fine. I will say though, because of whenever this will come out, I will be back home.
Okay.
On October the 18th, I'm opening in the main room for Brittany Schmidt, a fucking
Well, hey, let's drop a beat if we're gonna do plugs. How about that? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
a baddie. No, he just brought it in. I was
Do it.
like,
No,
oh, is it
you
okay?
got you got the plug
Conductor.
music now.
Okay, so I'm opening for Brittany Schmidt at Helium in Indy on October the 18th.
Yeah.
Not to like put a gun in your hand, but that is my legitimate 40th birthday. So
Really?
if you love me, you should come in there.
And what day of the week is that?
It's a Wednesday,
Oh,
so
it's a Wednesday.
it's a really chill day to come in and bring me, weed and various other gifts.
Me like it.
Come in and
Wednesday
see me.
night? That's a great night.
Yes.
That's a great night to come in and take a killer show. It's in the main room?
Main room. My
Nice.
album drops on Halloween, Asian American Psycho with 800-pound gorilla.
Would somebody advise you against that long of a title? Because
No.
that's like a page.
Asian American Psycho?
But I thought you didn't say the 800-pound gorilla.
Well, that's just the label that it's coming out of.
Oh, okay. I thought it was all one name.
Perfectly fair.
I was worried because, like I said, I just like things to be specific.
Brad Rigler, where can people find you and follow you on social media?
At Brad Rigler, RIGLER, or at Roast War Champ on any social media, or roastwarchamp.com.
And where
Also at Naptown Films for the new season out now. #
Zach Rowe,
You can find me at Zach_Roan on all social media.
Casey Camp. Oh,
I have no idea where I'm going to be. You can try to find me through GPS or Danger Brewer on Instagram.
hey, you can find me at Dyke Michaels across all social media. Also check out our Patreon, patreon.com/Harder Brunch. We got a huge library of, normally that's where we let it fly, but today you got a lot of after brunch on the big show. I want to thank my special co-host Hanna Roeschlein for filling in today, and Brad, always a pleasure.
Love it. Thank you for having me on. I love the show.
Love you guys, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.